You wake up with a start, look at your underwear and feel the shock. Damn! I had a menstrual cycle. Did I lose everything? Was it a relapse? This doubt destroys the psychology of many men who are trying to overcome themselves in the journey of semen retention. And do you know what's worse? There are many people out there saying that yes, that it is a relapse. But let me tell you a truth that almost no one tells you. Not every ejaculation is a defeat. In fact, sometimes it is just a reflection of your lack of technique, and not of will. The truth is that you were not taught how to deal with this energy. You were taught to hold on, but not to direct. Result: the energy explodes in the middle of the night, without you wanting it to. And then, instead of understanding what is happening, you blame yourself, lose focus, and even think about giving up. But I'm going to show you today that wet dreams have a cause, a solution, and they don't need to confuse you anymore. If you've ever been through this or are afraid it might happen, stay with me until the end. This video will turn the key in your mind. And when you apply what I'm going to show you here, the story changes. What are wet dreams? Wet dreams, also called nocturnal emissions, are involuntary ejaculations that occur while a man is sleeping. Contrary to what many people think, this does not mean that you have lost control or failed to retain semen. It is like an automatic mechanism in the body, almost like an escape valve. And look, this doesn't only happen to teenagers, you know? Many adult men who are just starting out on this journey go through this without even understanding what happened. They wake up with a start, thinking it's screwed, but in reality it is just the body adjusting. This release during sleep may be a reflection of accumulated sexual energy that is not being transmuted correctly. The body understands that there is an excess and, without a clear direction, finds the simplest solution: eliminate it. Imagine that you fill a bucket with water every day, but never use it. It will overflow at some point, right? That's what happens. The difference is that, with semen retention, this energy must be used, not accumulated for nothing. Because the purpose is elevation, not repression. Many people report that they were not even dreaming about something erotic. They wake up with only wet underwear and a confused brain. This happens because pollution does not depend on consciousness. It can occur in deeper states of sleep, when the unconscious is still immature in terms of energy control. Therefore, semen retention is not only physical, it is also mental, emotional, and spiritual. It is like training an invisible muscle. It requires time, technique, and constant practice. When you first start practicing, your body is still on automatic mode from years of masturbation or mindless sex. It doesn't immediately understand that you're trying to change things up. So it's natural for it to react in the same old way, and that includes wet dreams. The key is, don't beat yourself up. Instead, take it as a wake-up call that it's time to learn how to master this new energy. Semen retention is an art, and every artist goes through drafts before their masterpiece. In fact, many men start with holding alcohol thinking that all they need to do is hold on. But what few people tell you is that too much accumulated energy, without direction, turns into chaos. It's no wonder that the body tries to release it. The secret is to understand what's behind these nocturnal events and, most importantly, to learn how to conduct this energy intelligently. Because if you don't learn how to use this force, it ends up using you. And that's where what you need to know about relapse comes in. Why is it not considered a relapse? The big confusion happens because many people believe that any ejaculation means failure to retain semen. But don't worry, not everything that comes out of the body was a decision of the mind. Wet dreams are involuntary events. You didn't press any buttons, click on a forbidden video, or give in to the impulse. It's the same as blaming someone else for sneezing. You can even learn to control it, but it's not a mistake. It's not a relapse, it's just a reflex of the body dealing with what you haven't yet learned to channel. The real relapse is when there is intention. It is when the person thinks, plans, and executes an act that breaks with his purpose. This is a conscious energy breakdown. A wet dream is not included in this package because it happens without your permission. It is as if the body is saying, since you are not using this energy, I will find a way. But notice, it is not throwing away the essential, it is only releasing the excess. The essence is still with you, and that changes everything. The problem is believing that everything is lost. This belief, besides being false, is demotivating. Imagine a warrior who stumbles during training and immediately thinks about putting down his sword. It makes no sense, right? What matters is how much you are learning from the process. Semen retention is a daily process, and this includes stumbles, adjustments, and self-compassion. If you understand that a wet dream is not a relapse, you will begin to deal with it in a more relaxed way, and more strategically, too. Now, be careful. If this type of episode happens frequently, then it is a warning sign. Not because you are sinning, but because your energy practice is flawed. In other words, you are not transmuting correctly. And if the body realizes that all this accumulated power has no outlet, it will release it on its own. What you need is not more guilt, it is more technique. And this can be easily corrected with the right adjustments. This is where many men get stuck. They think the problem is with them, when in fact it is with the way they are managing semen retention. It is not a moral failure, it is a failure of strategy. The focus now should not be on the fear of relapse, but on understanding because this is happening to you. Because when you understand the cause, you are already halfway to avoiding it. And that is exactly what we're going to talk about now. Why do they happen to you? If you are already practicing semen retention but still have frequent wet dreams, the problem may not be with what you are doing, but what do you stop doing? Most men ignore the energetic practices that support this journey. Retention without transmutation is like lighting a fire and not putting the right wood in it. Instead of heating, it burns uncontrollably. And the body reacts. Meditation, breathing, and physical movement are not optional. They are fuel for your self-control. Furthermore, the internal and external environment influences things much more than you might think. Social media, TV shows, short videos, all of these things leave a mark on your mind. You may think you're not being affected, but your subconscious is there, full of stored images and sensations. And at night, when your conscious mind is asleep, your unconscious mind takes the wheel. If it's full of sensual stimuli, guess what happens? It's like planting mangoes and expecting to harvest apples. It doesn't happen. Another point that is overlooked: an agitated mind during the day causes chaotic sexual energy at night. If you spend the day anxious, worried, jumping from task to task, your energy system becomes unstable. The sexual energy, which should rise to the mind, gets stuck in the lower centers. And the body understands this as a need to discharge. It's like an overcharged cell phone. If it doesn't discharge properly, it shorts out. That's why slowing down the mental rhythm is vital. Your sleeping posture also has an impact. Sleeping on your stomach, for example, puts pressure on the pelvic region and can stimulate the reproductive system. In addition, sleeping with a full bladder increases the chance of nighttime pollution. It may seem like a small detail, but it is a small detail that separates the average man from the conscious man. If you want to control your energy, you must also control the environment where you recharge. It is not enough to hold in your semen. You need to create a favorable field for the energy to circulate. And here's the key that many forget. Semen retention isn't just about holding it in, it's about directing it. If you don't show it where to go, it will look for a way out. And most of the time, the easiest way out is the same old path. That's why understanding how to avoid this in a practical way can be the difference between continuing to evolve or going around in circles. How to avoid it in a practical way. The best way to avoid wet dreams is to take control of your energy every day. Semen retention is not just a decision, it is a daily practice of self-control. And for this, the body needs an energy flow, like a river that cannot be dammed. Moving your body is the first step. It can be weight training, running, martial arts, or even an intense walk. Moving helps to circulate energy and get rid of harmful accumulations. Additionally, you need to educate your mind before going to sleep. Practicing conscious breathing, slow, deep, and focused on the lower abdomen, calms the nervous system and helps transmute accumulated energy. A good technique is to inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4, exhale for 6, and repeat for 10 minutes. During this process, visualize the energy rising from the base of your spine to the top of your head. This tells your body, this energy goes up, it doesn't go down anymore. Avoid any visual or mental stimulation related to sexuality before going to sleep. This includes social media, series with hot scenes, or even mental daydreams. It may seem like an exaggeration, but it is not. A 3-second image can trigger a chain of internal reactions that end in a wet dream. You need to protect your mental space like a warrior protects his fortress. A good ritual is to replace this content with spiritual reading or even affirmations about self-control and mental clarity. The environment also has an impact. Sleeping on your side, with an empty bladder and in a clean, dark room prepares your body for a deep sleep without unnecessary activations. Avoid sleeping in tight clothing or heavy blankets that overheat the pelvic region. All of these are details that, when added together, make a difference. Think about how monks sleep: simplicity, silence, and body control. They don't have wet dreams all the time, and for good reason. Finally, use visualization as an ally. Before going to sleep, imagine your energy rising like a golden light, circulating your chakras and stabilizing your mind. Visualize yourself waking up feeling light, at peace, in total control. It may seem mystical, but your brain responds to mental images with the same intensity as it responds to external stimuli. And when this practice becomes a habit, the frequency of wet dreams tends to drop drastically. But the most powerful detail is what comes next. What I teach in the ebook. No ebook The Power of Semen Retention, the reader will find much more than theory. He will find a practical, direct, and structured map for those who want to truly master this art. It is no use just saying, "Don't ejaculate," and expecting miracles. I teach you step by step how to build a solid foundation, how to transmute daily, and how to align body, mind, and spirit. Because semen retention, when done consciously, transforms the entire man. And those who have read the ebook know what I'm talking about. Inside, you learn specific techniques that work even if you're starting from scratch. Breathing techniques that stabilize your energy, body exercises that activate your life force, and mental practices that prevent invisible relapses. You know when a guy feels like he's about to lose control, even without any stimulus? With the right methods, that disappears. The energy starts to obey your direction, and no longer the old unconscious impulses. One of the ebook's great differentiators is its focus on nighttime control. I show you how to prepare your body for sleep with energy protection, how to breathe correctly, what to avoid at night, and which habits align your energy before sleeping. This solves more than half of all cases of wet dreams. These are small adjustments that have a huge impact. Like turning off an outlet that you didn't even know was leaking energy. You can feel the difference in the first few days. Furthermore, the content is designed to be accessible and applicable. No difficult language, no empty promises. It's straightforward, with clear instructions and room to adapt to your routine. Many readers tell me, "Man, I thought semen retention was just about holding it in. Now I understand that it's a philosophy of life." And that's exactly it. It's not about repressing, it's about channeling. That's why the ebook is not just reading material, it's a guide to transformation. If you've ever been confused about whether or not you've had a relapse, or felt lost and didn't know how to deal with your wet dreams, this ebook is exactly what you need. It will give you clarity, technique, and direction. And when you start applying what's inside, the change isn't just internal. It starts to appear in your outlook, in your attitudes, and even in the way the world responds to you. Wet dreams are like that silent alarm that the body emits when energy is poorly distributed. If they happen to you, it's because there are still adjustments to be made in the way you're conducting the practice of semen retention. And the best part is that this is no reason to be ashamed, it's a call to evolution. Sexual energy is too powerful to be left loose in the system. Either you control it, or it controls you. It's that simple. Now that you understand that wet dreams are not a relapse, the next step is to not let it happen again due to lack of knowledge. You no longer need to be left in the dark, wondering if you have lost everything. There is a structured, clear, and proven way to direct this force and avoid these nocturnal escapes. The ebook The Power of Semen Retention is there for that. He delivers what no one teaches you: real method and lasting results. Those who master this practice feel the impact on their skin. More mental clarity, more magnetism, more self-confidence. There is nothing mystical about it. It is pure biology at the service of consciousness. And if you are truly committed, the path is already open. But it only works for those who decide to walk on their own 2 feet. Holding the semen is not the challenge. The challenge is knowing what to do with this power. And I teach you exactly that. Backhand index pointing right, so don't wait for the next night to teach you another lesson. Click on the link in the comments and get the ebook. It's designed to get straight to the point, with techniques that work from day one. If you feel like there's something inside you asking for more control, more strength, more clarity, then this is the right time. Because nothing changes until you change. And today could be that milestone. Your energy is worth its weight in gold. Literally. And every drop you learn to direct intelligently builds a stronger, more aware, more centered man. The difference between the average man and the man who masters semen retention is the decision to learn. The doubt is gone. Now it's action. And what comes next will transform your journey. Now tell me, are you going to continue wasting your energy at night due to lack of direction, or are you going to learn once and for all how to master your body and mind? If you've made it this far, it's because you know you have something powerful inside you, and it needs to be channeled, not wasted. Wet dreams aren't the end of the world, but they are a sign that it's time to level up. So, are you going to continue on this path, or are you going to take the reins of your transformation? Do you want to keep putting out fires or learn to light your own flame, with awareness, discipline, and power? Answer me in the comments. What has been your biggest question about semen retention so far? I want to help you, and this channel is here for that. So, leave a like on this video if it made sense to you. Subscribe to the channel now and activate the bell, because every week there is direct, real, and transformative content about semen retention, self-control, and male development. This is the kind of knowledge that changes lives, and the next life could be yours.